Greetings. Peace, greetings everyone. Peace, greetings Chief Yuya. Peace and greetings. Chief Yuya has a wonderful greeting. He greets everyone and I'm gonna read it after. But let me greet the other people in the chat, Sister Kashia, top tier speakers. Peace. All right. Greetings, sovereigns. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Peace and welcome. Greetings, sovereigns. And if you are joining us in the space this evening, it is a Sovereign Sunday. Please let me know if you can hear me. You know me, I'm just feeling music today, and I was feeling some zouk, so zouk it is. All right, thanks for the hearts and the likes. Greetings, Chief Yuya. I don't know if you heard me. I greeted at the beginning, and I'll greet you again. Chief Yuya gives us a big up. He says, y'all give me new props. I was first. Okay, you commented first. I think that's your last comment. The first comment was wonderful. He says, I will you are geared up for the next set of days and pulling the right nutrition from your kitchen laboratories. That's a beautiful, I couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better. So peace and welcome. It is another Sovereign Sunday, and I am continuing with juicing, and I'm just going to share some awesome and really inspirational ways that you can mix and match veggies to give you a savory juice if you need it. All right. And I'm also going to whip out my blender for those who may not have a juicer at this time, but you're willing to drink or do liquids. I do have a nifty, very quick and easy soup blend for you. And when I make that blend, I'll also add some dandelion toward the end because I want mine green, but maybe you don't want yours green. All of these juices that I will be presenting to you this evening have absolutely no added seasonings except for, again, everything that's natural. So there are no powders, there are no added oils in here, there are no added mixes and spice blends. I mean, for me, sometimes I do like to incorporate a bit of turmeric, sometimes bee pollen, depending on what I'm making. But in this, there are absolutely no, how should I say, powdered seasonings or anything added. There are some fresh pieces of thyme. I have some fresh pieces of some fresh peppers as well. So those go in there because we're trying to catch that savory blend. But the truth is, the blend actually incorporates a lot of celery and a lot of kale, and some celery. We incorporate some burdock roots in there too. So I'll give you the full list once I get to them. But the idea is to encourage you to utilize different veggies and different blends to give yourself a savory option, because sometimes you just need savory. All right. Sometimes you just need a little bit savory. All right. Savory is sweet. Greetings. I greeted top tier speakers and Sister Kashia as well, and Sister Deidre on the 1-2s. um, she says I was first commentator. So give me my props. All right. No, I was gonna give you a ta-da. All right. So burdock root is the first thing that we're going to utilize here in our juice. Now, actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about the different types of juicers, right? Because I am noticing, I mean, I've used a Breville for a very long time. It is a centrifugal machine. It is not what's considered a masticating, and the masticating is much, it reaps much more juice. You get a lot more out of it, and that's because they aren't, doesn't just incorporate blades. There is a pressing component to it, and that pressing, really, with that pressure and that pressing, allows for all of the juice to be extracted. But that's not what I'm working with. I'm working with one that does not have that compressing mechanism, and it is not, although it has a fast, a low, and a high button, it is not slow as a masticating, right? The masticating is much slower, and it allows you to really extract all of the juice out of it. So if you are looking to buy one, then that would be the one that I would recommend. I don't really have brands right now that I can share, but I can tell you that the slower juicer is the better quality, because it gives you way more nutrients in your drink. All right, your blend. Apparently we're on fire tonight. Everybody's on fire. All right. Well, we have some heat for y'all. Sister Deidre says peace to everyone in the space. This is exciting. All right. Because I don't know how many of you have ever juiced before for a long period of time, and you notice that not only does it clean and cleanse your palate and your olfactory, and it just clears up the mind. You feel light. You feel good. I love to smell a space when there's juicing happening, right? Have any of you walked into a juice bar before and you're like, oh my goodness, it just smells so light in here. It feels like it's energizing. It feels so good. This is what this space feels like now. So it's only been juicing, and it is incredible because there's something about those smells. The smell of laundry, fresh laundry, and the smell of fresh juice, like just permeating. All right. Has anyone ever felt that? You walk into a juice bar, you walk into a space where they're just juicing, and the space just feels absolutely light, right? I think that's indicative of exactly how the body feels when we begin to juice. I feel that that's exactly how the body, like, stores energy once it starts getting all that nutrients in liquid form, and there isn't that sluggishness, and the stomach and the gut doesn't have to do too much work to break down nutrients. All your body has to do is just process and absorb. All right, process and absorb. So that's a good thing. All right. Is anyone else who's juicing at this moment? If you are, please just put it in the chat. Let us know. If you are juicing as well, jump in the chat and just say yes, no. And so far, what have you been pulling on? If you are juicing, what have you been pulling on? Have you been pulling on just lots of water? Have you been using coconuts? I couldn't, I couldn't get myself to, together with the coconut. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it next round. But we do have coconut jelly in the other piece. But next round, I'll show you all how to chop, peel it, do that, all of that good stuff. But just in the chat, just let me know if you are juicing, and if you are not, if you intend to juice this strong, or at least try a few of the options that we're giving this evening, especially the savory ones. I know we're always familiar with the very sweet and what do you call it, fruit heavy combinations. Let me jump back into the chat real quick. Yes. Sister Deidre says, yes, I would like that kind of juicer. I'm sure you would. I would like one too. I'm telling you, it's the pressing, that pressing component, that piece really allows for extracting. Um, there is one juicer that I actually know see they have the way I don't even know how to explain the way the trash, right, comes out. All of the fiber that's being disposed is like literally fiber. If you try to do anything with it after, you could not. And you know I want to reuse everything, including some of that fiber sometimes. But depending on the quality of the masticating machine that you use, there are several ways to remove the trash, and you fold it back into something that looks like a cloth, and you reload it into the machine, and it will press again. So there's that constant pulling from nutrients from whatever is left. I really appreciate that. So yeah, campaign, man, campaign. All right, Sister Naya says, I love the smell of fresh laundry. Sister Kashia says, that's me. Apples crate smells like essential oils and things. All right. Lots of oils. I love essential oils too. Can't get over it. So Sister Deidre says she is juicing now and she's got to incorporate more greens. Yes, well, as I said, we have some dandelion here and we have lacinato kale, or I like to say dinosaur kale. It looks old like dinosaur scales, I guess. So dinosaur scale, dinosaur kale. Top tier. Greetings, Brother Cruz Alvarez. Greetings. Blessed love to you. Top tier speaker says, I'm about to juice the onion honey lemon mix that you spoke about last time. Yes, good. Get that in. That's a nice shot. That's a good shot. Daily shot for the strong. All right. I use a blender at the moment. Yes, Sister Kashia. So if you're using a blender, I don't typically tell people to strain. But I do know sometimes if it is if blending and juicing is very new and people, some of us don't have a juicer, we'll just use a blender. I say make soup, make smoothies, so that way you have liquid going in. And you're not, holding yourself to straining, because if you strain, many of the times we're not getting all of the nutrients, right? But sometimes you want that smooth effect, and maybe like if you have children, anyone who's doing that, you want that smooth effect just to get them to drink it. Once they're hooked, then you could go in on the pulp and everything. you know Sister Deidre asks, what about veggie snacks? I'm not sure what you mean, veggie snacks. That's also called black kale. What veggie snacks? Please put it in the chat what veggie snacks you're talking about, because I'm not sure. We ain't talking about snacks here today. We not talking about snacks today at all. But anyway, let's jump right in. So I have a lot to juice. So there'll be a lot of buzzing going on in the background, but I'll start with the juice. Well, what do you all want me to start with? The juice or the soup? Juice or the soup? The juice, savory juice or the soup? You tell me. You tell me. Um, ah, so while I wait for you all to put that in the chat where I should start, so Sister Deidre says, ask about the veggie snacks. After if you have a juicer that really leaves a lot of that trash that has a lot of liquid in it and still has a lot of nutrients, it's still full of juice, you can gather some of it. I won't suggest you gather all, because if you try to use all of it, juicing really utilizes a lot of veggies, and if you were to gather all of that trash, and you try to use it in so many things, you'll get bloated. But it is a great way to incorporate some of it. So we juiced mangoes, and I held back some of that pulp that was left in the trash chute, and I'm saying trash chute, but it's not you know what I mean. That waste from it, I have held on to it. I put a label on it, So it says mango, and I put a date on it. And once we're finished, I'm going to add it to a marmalade that I want to make, right? You can make jam with it as well, because these fruits have what we call pectin naturally. So, and again, I'm not saying make jam and throw a whole lot of, like regular sugar. No, we're making jam. We're taking that what's left over and reusing it to make something else. And I always share all of those things with others as well. So, even though I make a batch, I'll share it, I'll pass it on, I'll find someone to share it with or to give it away to. So again, if you have a lot of trash left over, some of the carrot you can scoop out and use. I tend to take all of the fruit, especially with things like mangoes, and I utilize that. Um, I will say this: I don't tend to juice greens unless I have a lot of long strips, hardy strips of kale, right? The leafy kale just flies straight through the machine. Again, especially if you're using one that's just the faster machines, it's not a slow masticating machine. All of your kale ends up in the trash. You end up with absolutely no benefit pulled from it. So sometimes it's always good to blend. If you have a strong blender, you can blend it through, and most times you end up with much more, right? And I'm just saying that's part of how that fast older machine works. It's not as efficient. So there are workarounds, and that's one workaround. But it's excellent for celery and carrots and burdock root and sweet potato. So, all right. So I talked about how you can use the trash in different ways. Yes, you do end up with vapors. All right. So here, everybody wants the soup first. So very quickly, boom. I already preloaded my blender for the soup. So in the blender, of course, I have some spring water, but at the bottom, and I'll move this out of the way because I want to show you what I'm going to add to the that mix, right? I'm going to add these after, but this is exactly what I have. Now, in the blender, I have a piece of onion, one garlic, a clove of garlic, a small piece, celery, and carrots. So this is a carrot soup. And if I were not juicing and detoxing right now or fasting, I would add maybe some coconut milk, fresh made, homemade coconut milk to it, and a lot more seasoning, and maybe some arugula, and blend that up. And afterward, I'd add chunks of other, like just other veggies, so that I'm mimicking an actual thick soup that I would cook, right? So it doesn't end up like a broth, it ends up thick and soupy. All right, so I'm just gonna start blending. Again, I have a small clove of onion, garlic, onion. I have celery, and I have carrots in here that I chopped up. And I added two things. I added thyme and tarragon. All right, and again, I'm using these not just because of flavor, but because of, again, the garlic helps with circulation and it has antibacterial properties. Tarragon is sometimes it has a bitterness to it, and it starts triggering digestive enzymes. So that's very helpful. All right, so I'm going to start. All right, stop. All right. So I know you can't see a lot of what's going on, but it has that rich yellow color, and again, that's from the carotenoids in the carrot, helpful. So now I'm going to just add my tomato, and afterward, right, I'll separate some of it, and then afterward I'll add the dandelion. All right, so I'm adding just one whole tomato, and I tend to use just regular tomatoes, the really big ones. I don't tend to use plums because to me, the nutritional content is much lower than if I use heirlooms. So try to, when you're doing these types of things like your juicing and so on, try to use heirlooms and try to use things that are more natural. All right, try as much as you can. One more blend. Can y'all hear me? All right, so I'm done. All right, now remember, as I said, there is, yep, all right, thank you. There, I don't have any oil or fat in here, no cream, again, because I'm juicing. But if I'm making a regular soup, and I'm, myself, my family, I am not juicing, I can add some coconut cream, I can add some coconut milk to it as well. And I will say this, once you add that coconut cream or coconut oil, it take the color that you see will start to, you're going to find that the color becomes a little bit more yellow, right? So it's really bright orange at this moment. And this is your soup. I can smell all of the flavors, but also remember I told you about that juicing smell that I get whenever there's just juicing happening in a space. It's fresh. It smells like life in here. And it's very it's thick, but it's loose. All right. Again, if you are not juicing and you're not staying away from fats, you can add that extra bit of olive oil to it. Not olive oil, coconut oil or coconut cream, not from the can, of course, and or some coconut milk to it. If you know how to make coconut milk from scratch, from the dry coconut, and the color changes and you get something creamier and thicker. It depends on what you want. This is primarily for the purpose of juicing. Okay, so that's the color that I have. I'm gonna go ahead and add my dandelion real quick, and then I'm going to juice. Okay, now y'all forgive me because I keep forgetting that orientation. Are there any questions? I wanted to ask Ima, I think it was top tier speaker, shared that she tried one of the immune blends or shots from last week, from last Sunday, right? Was there anyone who tried any of those from last Sunday or last Sovereign Sunday? Please let me know in the chat. Please let me know. It's always helpful. Oops, a whole lot of stuff just filled. Let me know if you tried any of them. And if you did, how did it come out? How did you like it? Please let me know. I'm just going to put my handful of dandelion in and blend it down. Of course, it's going to make it even, much thicker, but that's a good thing. Now I'm going to add some more bitter so that way I can balance it off. I've been doing a lot of yellow juices and juices with carrot and lemon, carrot and orange. And I've been doing some kale as well, and then just straight celery. But, I felt like this strong, I wanted to begin to add even more greens. But I think yesterday and Friday, I did a spinach-based blend. So that's always good. And I try to blend my greens because spinach and some of the types of kale that I use, they don't juice very well and you just waste it pretty much goes to waste. Can you send something? That would be good. That would be good. That would be good. If I could, I would. Definitely. All right. So typically I let it blend just a little bit longer, just because um I don't want any pieces of leaves in there, because again, I don't want to chew. I just want to drink, I want to drink. So the dandelion just kind of shifts the color a little bit. Um, it just kind of shifts the color a little bit. So you have this dark green uh, thing there. It's just dark and green, but it is strong, it is potent, it is good, and it is filling. It's filling. All right, so let's move on. I'm going to do the juice now. For those of you who asked for the juice second, the juice, I'm going to include a few things. I'm not going to use all of these onions. I just chop the onion and threw it in here. But I have peppers, I have lemon, tomato, and kale. But I also have a few additional things. I have, give me 1 second. I have burdock root, as I said before, that I'm going to add to it. Can you all see me? All right. And I'm also going to add some carrot to this one as well. Maybe not too much. And some celery. And yes, I know celery is ideally juiced separately. We're putting some celery in here because I want to increase the electrolytes. I want to increase the sodium in here and the potassium in here. So I'm adding celery to it. And I also have some pieces of sweet potato. And you don't have to add sweet potato if you don't want to. Sweet potato is a root, and it can be starchy, but you begin to activate those starches when they're cooked. So if you use just a little bit so that you can utilize the minerals in the sweet potato, you get a good balance of nutrients from it. Of course, you don't want to add too many things. So, just try to make sure that you're looking at the number of things that you have, so that way your combination just, you just don't start adding a bunch of different things in there. All right. Peace, greetings, precious Stephanie. All right. So we're going to jump into juicing. Any questions about the blend? Any questions about the juice? I do not have a soup, so I can't taste the spoon, and I will not drink from the bowl. Not on live camera. There's one thing I wanted to share. All right. So when I juice, you're going to notice that there's a separating that's happening, right? There's a separation. When you use a masticating machine, there's less of that separation because it juices and filters very well at the same time. So you end up with less separating of the liquid with some of that healthy pulp. Because when you use the the faster machines, the regular machines, I have a Breville here. What you'll find is that it doesn't separate it very well. Sometimes you end up with, it's not chunks, but you do not end up with an even liquid, right? That's completely smooth, which is fine, depending on what it is that you want to do. All right, so I'm plugged up and ready to go. Wait, can you all hear me? when you start to blend burdock, you get burdock is strong. Burdock is strong. So you probably say to yourself, oh my gosh, do I have a bug in here? What's going on? The smell can be overpowering, but that's just how potent burdock root is. So be prepared if you're using fresh burdock. Be prepared. And we talked about burdock, right? When we talked about we did our midday motivation. Let's get rootsy. So again, burdock, excellent. You're going to find yourself frequenting the restroom. Just be prepared. But it has a very strong smell when you're juicing. Woo. All right, so I'm putting in my celery now. All right. I'm not done. I'm just giving this whole thing a break. Old, but good. And I am pausing to add my kale. Because again, I said the leaves just fly through the shoot and the blade sometimes. I'm folding it, and I'm going to try to pack um, I'm going to try to pack the shoot as much as possible, so that way it gives it a little bit of resistance, and it does not end up just I guess just moving through the leaves very quickly and throwing it out in the trash. You can actually get to juice some of the juice out of it. I'm going to put a kale in between it just to help. All right. I'm sure you all know some of these tips and tricks, but sometimes it's helpful just to know how to put some of the veggies in, because if not, they just run right through. All right. It is getting a lot of work over here. It's getting a lot of work over here. So I am finished. I didn't use or juice all of it. All right. I didn't juice all of it just because there's a lot of juice and I don't need that much. I don't need that much. When I'm finished though, I'll finish juicing as much as I have. Or sometimes I'll just leave some of this because they're all soaked, scrubbed, and clean. So I can just put them all back in a pot or container and cover them, and they're ready for juicing the next day. Whether I want savory or sweet, all of the pieces and all of the fruit and stuff that I need is already done. So I have my mix. I'm just going to pour it out really quick, and I'm going to taste. For those of you, some of you like to see me taste. The color is not as bright anymore because I added, of course, some green. So you have a deep, dark color here. Deep, dark color. It looks good. It smells good, appetizing to me. Maybe not to others, but to me. All right. Any questions? Any questions about our juice today? Remember, as I said, there is sweet potato in here, just a little bit. We have carrot, kale, celery. I added a piece of onion. I did add hot pepper. You don't need to. You can cut out some of these. You don't have to add all of them. I also added a tomato to it and burdock roots. All right, so that's it for our presentation. That's it for our food demo this evening. We did 2 soups for those of you who are interested in options that are savory for you. And the savory options help because, it helps to open up the appetite. It helps to also release digestive enzymes. I find that when I utilize smoothies or sweet juices a lot, I don't find that, there's a lot of stimulating of the enzyme. My mouth isn't watering, and there's just less energy for me, because I think sometimes that sweet, especially if you're juicing, there's less fiber, so that sugar, that sweet kind of, it goes to the bloodstream very quickly, so it makes me, sometimes it makes me a little bit sleepy and lethargic. So getting the greens in and the electrolytes, the potassium levels up is always really good with this type of savory combination. All right. Sister Deirdre says, how do you juice the juice? What do you mean juice the juice? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Good to juice some of the juice. How do you juice some of the juice? So what do you mean juice some of the juice? Are you talking about straining it, or taking the juice itself and pouring it back into the juicer again? I want to know, because I mean, sometimes that happens, but then you end up with juice all over the place, because with the centrifugal, it just kind of goes all over the place. Let me see if I can read to see what you mean. That's what she said. You still juice some of the juice. Oh, I did? I said that? When did I say that? Oh my goodness. I'm just talking all over the place. Oh my goodness. Juicy juice. Okay. I made a mistake. I'm just talking too quick. All right. I am talking too quick. I saw another comment or question. Never mind. Ignore the juicing the juice part. Don't juice the juice. Don't juice the juice. Please, don't do it. Don't do it. Top tier speaker says, I've never had a raw savory soup before, so I look forward to trying this. Yes, and when you try it with the coconut cream, try it with the coconut oil. You get a very different texture from this. It has a different taste to it as well too. There's something about adding the coconut oil that gives it a different layer. But if you're doing, just for detoxing purposes and juicing, then you don't need the oil at all. All right, you can do that after. She says he's quoting Chef Moksha. Well, Chef Moksha's mouth went astray for a minute. So I misspoke. Sorry. Shalom, Imakuya. So that's it for this evening. These are the 2 juices that we have. Well, soup and 1 juice blend. I'm just gonna try it. Y'all want me to try it? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. Okay. And I make this religiously if I'm juicing, right? If I'm juicing, or I say, okay, I want a soup and I want a raw soup, this is what I will make, right? This version. But instead of dandelion, I like what you call rocket, arugula. Definitely arugula. Definitely arugula. Please stop with the olives though. Thank you very much. There are no olives in this drink. No olives were harmed in creating this drink. It's so good. I'm sorry. I'm not sharing it at all. I'm going to have it by myself, all to myself. It is sweet, but hot. And again, I know taste and texture is very superficial, But sometimes I know people need that. They need that taste and texture to pull them into the world of juicing. Um, this drink is going to pull you into the world of juicing. It will make you want to juice every day because of the combination, because of the flavors. But all I'm going to say is I know I'm going to be up really late because, again, juicing and these types of juices with things like burdock and the kale and the, like the peppers and so on, that combination, it really energizes. So, don't sleep on juicing. Don't sleep on making blends, whether it's smoothie blends or soup blends with fresh ingredients. Fresh ingredients. I don't need more than this, right, as a meal because there's just so much in here. So when you think about it, yeah, you might say it costs a lot, but by the end of this juice fast, skin clear, skin will be glowing, the energy will be through the roof, mucus expounding from your system. It will be just like gone, gone, gone. And you find that there's an increase in even your your weight, your blood, right? I know for me, it's like I won't say it's a long standing issue, but I do have like sluggish blood. So I need to consume foods that will help to energize me and help to move that blood through the body and increase that energy and allow for that energy to move. So yes, I really do want to go in on the drink. I am just being very ladylike right now and trying not to gulp it down, because also I have not had anything for the day except for tea because I've been waiting on my meal so I can share it with you all. All right. Sister Deidre said, he says um there could be what? There could be fruit. Olives are, yes, they are fruits. Not could be, they are, but they don't qualify today. They're a pit fruit, but they don't qualify today. But maybe you can add them to soup. Is that top tier speaker says, oh, who needs coffee when they can have a raw savory soup? Listen, that's top tier speakers. You have spoken a book because this is the type of juice blend, again, burdock, kale, tomato, celery, an onion, hot pepper, carrot. You can't go wrong with this. The amount of nutrients that are like built in up in this, the quickness with which the body would absorb these nutrients, right? You don't need coffee because even if after you have the coffee, there's a spike and then there's a drop, right? There's always a crash. The regular SAD diet encourages people to have this huge break fast, so to speak. And that's a good thing for you if you want to be sick, fat, and overweight for the rest of your life. But if you don't want to be sick, fat, and overweight for the rest of your life, yeah, juice, all right? Or even a blend in the dawning. So yeah, I agree with you. It does help. It does help to increase your energy potential during the day as well. So that's what I say. Juice it, juice it. Um, yes, it's all like no dose. Yes, that's right. There won't be. All right. Peace, you all. Thank you very much. It is 7:46. Thank you for rocking with me for just this time, this Sovereign Sunday. Join us next Sovereign Sunday. We will go into a little bit of the creamy side of things, just so you can see all the different phases and all the different faces and dimensions to juicing and blending and liquid meals. Peace, everyone. Peace to the peaceful. Thank you very much. Give thanks, Sister Kashia, Ima Precious, Chief Yuya, top tier speakers, Cruz, and Antonio, and Naya, and Akuya, and Deidre, Sully every age. Peace, you all. Thank you again, Chief Yuya. Thank you again. Oh my goodness. I used to enjoy this a lot. I know y'all can hear me. Peace.